Google Maps is a goldmine for generating B2B leads. In this video, we are going to find out which of these two web scraping tools is the best. How do they work? What data can you extract? Can we scrape at a large scale? Hi, my name is François and today we are comparing Octoparse and Scrap.io. Let's start with the basics, meaning let's start by answering our first question. How do these two tools work? What I like to do first is taking a look at their landing pages, and we notice a main difference. Octoparse promise is easy web scraping for anyone, and Scrap.io is your Google Maps leads generator. It implies one thing: Octoparse is a generalist. Scrap.io is a specialist. Octoparse is useful for scraping everyday websites, if we can call it that. Scrap.io, on the other hand, is made for scraping Google Maps and nothing else. That's its only mission. Using Google Maps is like getting a giant box of Lego without any instructions. The good news, you are free to build whatever you want. The bad news, you are free to build whatever you want. You are thrown into the jungle, and if you mess up your construction, that's on you. Good luck with that. Scrap.io, on the other hand, is more like a coffee machine. The delivery guy came over, installed it for you. You've got a lot of options: regular coffee, long coffee, coffee with milk. And in the end, you just press a button and boom, coffee is ready. You have no idea how the whole process works, and honestly, you couldn't care less. What matters is how easily you got your result. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to answer our second question: what data is included? And the best way to answer this question is to give you a quick demo. So let's start with Octoparse, shall we? There are two options, two ways to scrape Google Maps data from Octoparse. I won't show you the step-by-step tutorial of doing it, that's not the whole point, but I will explain to you the logic behind it. First option is to create my task from scratch, and option 2 is to use a pre-made template. The template is not in free access though. Okay, so the first step is to make a Google Maps search, right? I will check restaurants near Nashville, Tennessee, USA. I end up with my URL, correct? This is our starting point. So I copy and paste my URL and I click on start. If you wonder why I have something like this, it's because there is another main difference between Octoparse and Scrap.io, and that difference is Scrap.io is a SaaS, it's an online tool, while Octoparse is an app. You have to download it beforehand. But that's alright. So what I can do on Octoparse is interact with web elements the way I want. So I can remove this pop-up, that's the first thing. Octoparse also has an AI web scraping assistant, but I prefer to warn you right away. It's not really efficient, but at least it gives you a glimpse of what your workflow should look like. So we have a scroll page first, meaning we have to scroll down to that part of the page only in order to load more restaurants, more establishments, right? Because that's what we should do on our real browser. At the beginning, I only have access to, I don't know, around 5 restaurants only, but if I want to get more of them, I have to scroll down to the bottom of the page. And because I've already created a similar template, a similar workflow on Octoparse, I can tell you for sure that the parameters are not correct. Then we have the loop item. So the loop item's purpose is to select all different items, as its name suggests, all different restaurants. And for each of these restaurants, we can extract some data. So here we have extracted the category, I guess, the close soon. It doesn't make any sense. See, it's not really working that well. I know what you are thinking. You are going to tell me that you can do it yourself. Indeed, you can do it, but it will simply take much more time. So to overcome this problem, you can use a pre-made template with zero setup. I guess I'm gonna pick up that one, Google Map Email Finder, because usually people who wants to scrape Google Maps are expecting to retrieve email addresses. With that template, we are able to retrieve input URL, name, rating, review account, category, website, telephone, Google Maps URL, email, and social media links. Alright, let's give it a try. What is the input? Google Maps listing page URL. Okay, here is an example. I'm gonna go with restaurants in Nashville. I insert it Google Maps email finder, good. And I click on start. I run on my device and a new pop-up has just appeared. So let's see how it goes. If I click on show browser, no way, they didn't even do that. Okay guys, I think, it's not that I think, I'm sure, the template is not working for one specific reason. They didn't solve the pop-up before having access to the Google Maps request. So obviously it won't work. And that's the problem with some of the Octoparse templates, is that some of them, I don't know if most of them, but let's say some of them are simply not working. Ah la la, what a disappointment. See, we can just stay here forever. It's simply not gonna work. That's alright. Now let's see if we manage to achieve a better result with Scrub.io, meaning a bit more than 0 result. Once you have logged in, you should end up with the same layout as I do. And as you can notice, things are very straightforward. Each request is divided into 5 parts. To be honest, more into 2 parts. To the left part, we have access to the activity, meaning what kind of companies you would like to extract. In total, you have access to more than 4,000 different categories. And to the right part, we have access to location criteria, from the city to the country. You also have access to 2 fields entitled Level 1 and Level 2 Division. In the United States, it refers to the counties and to the states. But obviously, these names depends on the country you are targeting. So let's make a try with restaurant. That was good. In the United States, I can say Tennessee. I don't know in what county is located Nashville for, I'm sorry. But I don't have to specify it if I don't want to. I can simply type Nashville. I click on search and boom, coffee is ready. So I'm about to retrieve 1600 results. That's only an overview, a preview, because obviously once I click on export, Scrub.io is going to re-scrape all the data to make sure you have up-to-date data. So not only I don't have any sort of limits, but I also have access to tons of filters for better segmentation, essential filters or advanced filters. What I can do, for example, is to target restaurants as a main activity only, because a restaurant can be a bar, can be a cafe, can be an hotel. Opened restaurants, it might be better, with a website, for example, or with a minimum rating of 3 out of 5. If I click on filter, my database is going to be updated. All that remains to do is to click on export to give a name to my export. And if you go to the advanced options, I can set up an exported lines limit. For example, if I only want to get 30 data rows, I can perfectly do that, right? Once you click on export, you will be redirected to the My Exports tab. And within that tab, you will have access to all the exports you have done so far. You can update them, or you can download your result in a CSV or Excel file. Let's take a look further. So among other things, you have access to the restaurant's name, description, main type on all types, main category and secondary categories, website, phone number, food address, which is divided into different subtypes, coordinates, the link, over IDs, email address. That's a good thing, it's working. In some cases, when the company has written its website on the Google Maps card, we can visit this website to gather additional information, meaning you also have access to enrichment data for a better targeting. Social media links, first in on, reviews count, reviews rating, reviews per score, photos, occupancy, working hours, characteristics, and SEO related data, so related to the website. Website title, meta keywords, meta description, meta image, meta generator, additional email addresses with an ultimate column called all emails. Same thing for contact pages. Contact pages are super powerful. They are underrated in my opinion. Same thing for social media links, all LinkedIn links, all Facebook links, Twitter links, etc. And we end up with website technologies and website ad pixels. In other words, we can know for sure if the company is used to to running ads or not. Now it's time to answer our final question. Can we scrape at a large scale? Scraping 100 business records is one thing. Scraping 100,000, it's a whole different story. Trust me. You can scrape data for a single city. That's cool. But can you do the same on a larger scale, like an entire country? We actually made a video about this before. You can check it out by clicking in the top right corner. Where is it again? Here? I don't know. And the conclusion was simple. Technically, with Octoparse, it's possible by breaking your queries into smaller chunks. But let me be real with you. It's slow, it's painful, and I never ever want to do it again. I still have nightmares about it. Now, with Scrap.io, is it possible? Yes. Absolutely. More than that, it works just as flawlessly for extensive extractions as it does for smaller ones. And that's the promise of Scrap.io. From this to that with just 2 clicks, no matter the scale. Here we are back to Scrap.io. So as you can see, usually I'm only doing small extractions because I'm simply doing it for showing demo, like what I'm doing right now. But sometimes I had to make larger extractions. In that time, for example, I extracted all restaurants in France, and it worked just fine. Same thing for restaurants in the US with a Facebook account. And here is what it should look like if I check how many data rows I have. 200,000. This is the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you want to try out Scrap.io, by clicking the link in the description, you have access to your first 100 leads free of charge. There is nothing else to see. Bye.